Arr! This is your Star Trek Strange New World, Season 1, Episode 7 review. And yes, I will stop it, because that is terrible, but hilarious. The Serene Squall. So make sure that you have watched Star Trek Strange New World Series 1, Episode 7, The Serene Squall, before you actually watch this video, because I just go into spoilers just to freak you the fuck out. We're going to start with, obviously, the overall episode. It's your basic, you think it's your basic, colonists are in trouble, they need help, there's a pirate ship. There is a pirate ship. We find out later there is no colonists. And we find out that the woman parading around as the counselor and who's telling the story of these colonists who need help and they're being attacked. And we find out that she's actually the bad guy. And she's been emotionally manipulating Spock and the crew, and they end up managing to take control of the Enterprise. And they manage to capture Pike and a lot of the crew on the Serene Squall. And then Pike tries to attempt a getting them to mutiny scenario, which I found quite amusing. And I'm going, are they really? And you think, once again, with Strange New Worlds, you think that they're going to take it in a already tried and true direction. And what the episode does, as with a lot of the other episodes, is it takes what we think we already know about Star Trek and actually puts a twist on its head. We find out that she's actually the captain. We find out at the end of the episode the mutiny doesn't work, which I thought was quite amusing. I'm like, oh, okay. And we have a lot of emotional tension between Spock and Nurse Chapel. There was no Uhura this week and no Hemmer. It's really weird we don't see Hemmer a lot more. I don't know whether that's just because the actor's only contracted for a certain amount of episodes. So, overall, special effects. Special effects are always good on Strange New Worlds. That is just the way it is. Anson Mount, once again, nails Pike. I like that he's called the Boy Scout in his permanent record, and he seems genuinely offended by that. And the interesting thing about that is, I don't think Kirk would ever be called the Boy Scout. I think it's very much a Christopher Pike name, which is really enjoyable. A lot of really sort of fun moments within this episode. Obviously, him talking like a pirate at the end, and Una just going, "No." It was really enjoyable in the sense. Look, it's not the best episode of the season, but it was a very enjoyable episode. Where Captain Angel, who is the pirate captain, the one we think is the counselor at the beginning, she actually escapes, and I'm sure she'll pop up later again. She might be a continuing villain. Initially, I thought the Tholians were going to turn up because they were caught within a net. Oh, the Tholians! Even in the trailer, I'm going, oh, it's the Tholians. That's really amazing. And it wasn't the Tholians, and I like this. It was dealing with Spock's feuding human and Vulcan sides, and she makes a good point. And obviously, I think this is the non-binary character that they were talking about, where, and I don't know whether they used they/them pronouns. I can't remember off the top of my head, but she very much sort of goes, you don't have to be one or the other. You don't have to fit into a niche. And I'm sitting there and going, I see what they're doing. And it's really interesting because there's no mention of her being non-binary, but they're talking about concepts of which are kind of non-binary, which I quite, and about gender in general. And I really liked the way it was a bit more nuanced and a little bit, Discovery goes, here's our non-binary character, here's our trans character. And they very much, I wouldn't say hit them over the head with it, but they very much state what they are. The same with the gay couple, they didn't, obviously. But in Strange New Worlds, they seem to be a little bit more like, oh, they're just here. It's not a problem. Which I quite like, is there's no discussion on the issue. It's just accepted that they are what they are. Which Strange New Worlds is nailing a bit more than Picard. No, not even Picard. Picard doesn't mention it either. Raffi and Seven, they don't mention. And Discovery's the only one that sort of talks about those issues in a full-on, head-first way. Picard talked about social issues in a head-on, full-on way. Strange New Worlds is dealing with issues in a native to the story, a more metaphorical way, sort of more like the original series and the TNG era. And I quite enjoy that. It's a little less like I don't have to learn these messages, but if you're paying attention to them, they're still there. I very much enjoyed Una sort of being a part of this episode. When she's playing cheeky, she plays it really, really well. And Pike, the character of Pike, but also Anson Mount playing Pike, he has like a charisma about him when he's playing a bit wacky and a bit crazy. And I really, really enjoy it. I really loved at the end on the ship how they've taken it over and they haven't actually finished doing the mutiny plot. The mutiny plot. So, but they're in there, and for some reason the ship's steered with like an old-fashioned wheel from a sailing ship. A very piratey sort of feeling about it. And I really like that. And then you just see people climbing on the back because they didn't wait for the mutiny to end. They just decided to take over the bridge. That was really, really enjoyable. The bad guy was very compelling. Chapel and Spock having their kiss, trying to convince T'Pring not to hand over the Vulcan prisoner. And we see that Chapel has feelings for Spock, but I think Spock realized he might have feelings for Chapel. It's sort of hinted at, but it's not expressly shown. Because I think in the original series, obviously, Spock and Chapel still gives him those longing looks, and they don't have a relationship as such. And then we find out at the end of the episode, oh my god, you know when you have like a good episode or even a middling episode, but the ending nails you? And when they go, oh, it is my half-brother, Sybok. And I've gone, my god, they're actually going to do Sybok. They're actually going to explain this character. Star Trek V may be one of the most disliked Star Trek movies or one of the least liked Star Trek movies. But Sybok as a character was his half-brother. He's very different. He accepted his emotions. He's full Vulcan, but went with the emotions, and he's passionate and strong. And I find it interesting that Pike will know about Sybok. Well, Pike will know about Sybok, or maybe Sybok won't come up again. No, Captain Angel escaped. I don't know, but I'd really like Sybok to turn up. I think that's an interesting dynamic to learn, to see them in their formation before Star Trek V, and it gets a bit crazy God obsessed. We'd all like to be a lot of crazy Christians when they're not God obsessed. Otherwise, it was a really great episode. I'm really looking forward to. We're in the last couple now. This is episode 7. We've got 8, 9, and 10, and then the season ended sadly. And so far, it is at 70% perfect. Like every episode has been pretty darn good. What did you think? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Come back next week for a Strange New Worlds review, Thursday nights. Prodigy is on Tuesday nights. Random content is on Sunday nights. We discuss all kinds of crap. I say we, there is only me. We discuss all kinds of stuff. It's basically, I come up with the content during the week and we discuss it. We talk about men in Star Trek, gay representation in Star Trek. We talk about random topics. So come back. Tell me what you thought in the comments of this episode, and I hope to see you next time.